If you're doing Go Highlevel or any other voice AI agent, then you need to stop and listen to this very important message. You're not using your voice AI agent, whether it's a phone or a website voice widget, to its maximum capability. In fact, you're probably missing out on 90% on what it's capable of doing, and that 90% is the difference between a $500 and a $5,000 a month voice AI system. And it's not your fault, because no one is showing this on the internet, and there's no training manuals out about it. In this video, I'm going to cover it off. It's beginner friendly, step by step. I'm going to show you the difference in how to build an actual agent that's worth $5,000 rather than $500. My name is Altis, and I have my own AI agency and my own AI mentorship where we build these extra special voice AI agents. And in this video, you're going to learn step by step. It's almost a full course from the basics to really advanced features using MCP servers and N8N. And you'll be able to have an actual voice AI assistant in your Chrome browser. So not a phone widget, but a widget that helps you perform tasks for you as an agency owner, and that you obviously can go and sell to other people as an extra function. But this is really important. This is going to be a full training video. It's going to be step by step, and it's beginner friendly, so don't get scared. Sit down, look at the timeline, look at the timestamps, and we're going to go for it step by step. All right, let me quickly show you how this would work with Highlevel. Now, let's say you're scrolling a website, and this one I just quickly created in ChatGPT. Actually quite cool and awesome. Let's say you're scrolling a website, or you're getting an email and there's a potential new lead, or you might have an old lead that you remember to do something. But let's say, for example, I've scrolled this through, I found this person's details. I want to add him to my CRM and do some cool stuff with it. Now, I've built in the widget in here. It's a matter of clicking that in there, and once you click it, it brings up your voice AI assistant. Now, this can be a number, anything. It can look like anything, all right? It can be the native high-level one, it can be the orb one, or any other function they build up. But this is what it would look like, and this is how you would use it. So,
hey Altis, what can I do for you?
hi there. I just found a new lead, and I need to add this new person to my CRM.
Got it. I'll need a few details to create the contact. Can you share their first name, last name, email, and phone number?
Yeah, so their first name is spelled ALTUS, their last name is spelled Snyman, SNYMAN, and their email address is ALTUSSNYMAN@gmail.com. So I'll say again, ALTUSSNYMAN@gmail.com, and the phone number is going to be +64 21 255 0493.
All right. The new contact for Altis Snyman has been successfully added to your CRM. Is there anything else you'd like me to do with this lead?
All right, so let's go ahead and send him an actual text message, so an SMS message, and we're going to say, this is the best demo ever.
The SMS saying, "This is the best demo ever," has been sent to Altis Snyman. Anything else you'd like me to handle?
Yeah, let's quickly send them one more message and say, thank you for your time, and please check your emails.
The message, "Thank you for your time and please check your email," has been sent to Altis Snyman. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to do.
All right, so we're going to have to add them into a new workflow, and the workflow is going to be called new lead. Do you have that workflow?
Altis Snyman has been successfully added to the new lead workflow. Anything else you'd like me to take care of?
Hey, yeah, just one last thing. I just did a bit of traveling with my car, and I just need to update my mileage for my car.
Sure thing. Could you let me know how many kilometers you'd like to log and the reason for the travel?
Yeah, I just did a 21-kilometer round trip, and it was to do a live presentation.
Your 21 kilometers round trip for the live presentation has been successfully logged. Anything else you'd like me to assist with?
And just the last thing, again, for our contact we used before, ALTCUTMAN, can we add a note into that contact and just say something like, hey, David is going to follow up with him later on.
The note David is going to follow up with him has been added to ALTCUTMAN's contact profile. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to do.
Hey, no, that's good. Thank you. Goodbye. Right. So did it actually do it? So, obviously don't have this contact in here. So I'm going to create this, delete this one out, put it back in. And there's our contact index, create it, name's right, and when we go click on it, we will see that, let's move my head a little bit this way for a second, we will see we have notes in here, and we have a note, David's going to follow up, and you can see it's added to the opportunity. So what the workflow actually just looks like is it automatically adds them into an opportunity, into your pipeline. So it's a lot easier doing this in actual workflows than doing the actual commands through it, because it just takes long with adding the value, adding the steps to it. But if you can have an actual workflow for it, it works a lot better. So as you did, there I am in there, and then obviously just the workflow, nothing in here, but if we go into it, we should refresh it, it's just a welcome email sequence, and hopefully it will be in my emails, and it's just like a sequence. All right, so better to have things in the workflow. And then the third thing, I just want to demonstrate to you that it can do a lot of other things. It's not Go Highlevel, and this is just a card odometer log where I put the time, a distance, and the reason for it. For example, lots of other things you can do with it. Now, did I receive the email? Yeah, here we go. So the 3-day email came in 3 minutes, and it's literally just a welcome email, right? So yeah, I'm gonna now. We'll go ahead and I'll show you how we build it up and how you can just about add any functionality to it. Super powerful, super easy. This is obviously for a personal assistant for you, but you can add this now into your client's framework. I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless. If they have an incoming call, if they want to build out their own voice assistants, the power to do a lot of other things is really great, really amazing. Let me quickly show you this one. It was really cool as well, for example. Let's go back and open this one back up. Once it loads, it comes in here.
Hey, Altis, what can I do for you?
Hey, I just need you to quickly search on the internet for martial arts or a taekwondo place around the area of Kaukapakapa in New Zealand.
Here's what I found for martial arts and taekwondo options near Kaukapakapa, New Zealand. Superior Taekwondo location: Kaukapakapa, Helensville, and Waimauku. Focus: Taekwondo with an emphasis on competition, life skills, and fitness.
I like that one. Do we have any contact details for anyone there?
Yes, the Superior Taekwondo website provides contact details and more information. You can visit their website at superiortkd.to.nz.
Contact details, like I'm looking for a number or an email address for anyone from there.
The website for Superior Taekwondo doesn't explicitly list a phone number or email address in the snippet I found. However, you can visit their official website, here, https://superiortkd.co.nz, to find their contact details directly. They should have a Contact Us section with the information you need. Hey, Altis, what can I do for you?
Hey, I was just wondering,
Hey, Altis, what can I do for you?
Hi, I'm just wondering if you can find the latest weather forecast for Auckland for tomorrow.
The weather forecast for Auckland tomorrow, October 29th, 2025, suggests a mild day with light rain showers or patchy rain. Temperatures are expected to range between 13 degrees Celsius, 55 degrees Fahrenheit.
And also, hey, I saw an advertisement.
Yep, go ahead.
I saw an advertisement when I was driving, and they had an advertisement for Superior Taekwondo in Kaukopakapa in New Zealand. Can you find like a number for them? I missed the number.
The contact number for Superior Taekwondo in Kaukopakapa, New Zealand is 027-520-1613. You can also email them at superiorfitnessndays@gmail.com.
Okay, all good, thank you. So yeah, it's got internet power. It's got lots of functions and cool tools. So yeah, hope you stick with me as we build out everything. I'm going to show you everything start to finish, and you'll have all of this at the very end. So yeah, let's get into this. So that was just a bit of a demo how to set this up for yourself. Now, our goal is obviously to build these kind of agents for businesses that has so much more functionality, and when you can do a lot more, you can obviously just charge a lot more. So I just want to quickly help you understand why it's important and everything, the great value you're going to get in this total video. So quick little couple of bits of presentations, little slides. You just need to understand the why and change your mindset a little bit if you're still stuck in selling small agents that do $200 to $300, $500 a month functionality over a proper build out customizable voice AI agent for a business. Now, quick little bits of presentations in here. Obviously, we want to build those 5K agents over the small agents, and we're really going to show you how you can unlock your true potential by combining some tools in it. Now, we're going to go over a bunch of things. Make sure you use the skips down the bottom if you want to, but we're going to go over a full start to finish, how to start up a voice AI agent in Highlevel, really easy. Quickly want to talk to you about what MCP is, because that's going to be the magic part, the magic tool that we're going to use. It's going to be the super multi-tool that we can connect and have all this functionality to, but you need to understand a little bit how it works. I'm going to show you N8N. That's going to be a magic tool, because yes, there are a lot of other MCP servers up there, but we're going to build a custom bot sample N8N automation MCP server. So there's going to be a lot about N8N. You're going to learn heaps from it. And I want to show you the magic, how to connect it all together using Go Highlevel, N8N and MCP, and have this multiple tools that can do high level functionality but also external tools, and that's what makes it so great to use. And we're quickly going to show you a little bit of vibe coding, because that's how I built that little widget on the side. Okay, so lots to learn in from here, and ultimately you're going to have a voice AI agent that can do a lot of things. However, really important, the tool system we're going to use, because we're going to use N8N and MCP, you can actually just connect to anything. All right, so anything these days has MCP connectivity to it. If you're going to have 11 Labs, Vappy, your Claude desktop, retail, even some of WhatsApp or Lovable, they all can now connect to whatever you're going to build today. So it's really super, super powerful. So why and what's the reason for it? Now, normal, any large language module agents, whether it's voice AI agents, they by default are simple because they don't have a lot of functionality. You might think that AI do know a lot of things. Well, it actually doesn't. They are simple, basic bots, and tools and functions that we need to add to it makes it valuable. All right, so you'll understand soon. So your basic large language module, voice AI agent, chat widget, they can all kind of answer frequently asked questions, because you need to get, or you probably are really good at prompting. Now, depending on which large language module you use, they have a limited token size or memory that you can give to it. Now, the more you fill up that token space, the more the voice AI agent or your large language module has to think about things and answer it. So therefore there's a bit of a limit to it. Okay, so if we're gonna give it some information, basic business abouts, for example, you can add that into your prompt in your large language module / voice AI agent / chatbot can answer those things because it's in there. I want you to tell me when the business is open, who the contacts are, and those are pretty cool. Okay, so by default you can sell those, and those easily sell for $200 to $300 a month because they just kind of do one thing, and it's answer frequently asked questions. Now, the next kind of level up, if we just come back into here kind of thing, the next kind of level up that AI agents can do is connecting to a knowledge base. Now, knowledge base, RAG for retrieval augmentation, it all basically, in summary, just means that you have your large language module, you have your prompting, but we now can connect these to a database of sort, whether it's Google Sheets or a knowledge base of books or Airtables. When we connect these two databases, and again, Highlevel has it built in, just about any AI agent, retail AI, chat agent, voice agents, they all have the ability to connect to a knowledge base. And the knowledge base just works in the back end where you take a large amount of data that's bigger than the context window of your large language module, put it in somewhere, we chop that up, and there's a smart way of retrieving information from your database. And that's pretty cool, right? So now we can have a AI agent that actually has the capability of retrieving information and answering questions. So we have made it a little bit smarter, but most of the time it doesn't have any functions. Now, things like Go Highlevel are really good, where you can have internal high-level functionality like booking into a calendar and activating workflows. Now, those are somewhere in between here, I'd say, where they do have some great function, because Highlevel is a really good all-in-one AI operating system, right? So it has a lot of function to it. So when you combine that within the native Go Highlevel AI agent, voice AI agents, it does get really good. So you're up here where we can now have a AI agent that can answer simple questions, can look into databases, and it has some sort of functionality to it. However, you are still going to be limited in the big scope of things. Now, the way that we are going to build God mode AI agents that actually has unlimited functionality is to connect this all up to more tools. So it's literally us taking AI agents, and again, it can be in any one of the other forms, functions, brands, and we are giving it a lot more functions and tools. Think of it as like a multi-tool that we give someone. So instead of someone just having a ruler, a hammer, and a screwdriver, now we give them the ability with unlimited tools, with one tool that has everything connected to it. And that is where MCPs come from. Now, I'm not going to go too much in how it works and what the functionality of it is, but our God level AI agent will have the capability of answering things from your prompt. So it has prompt functions, it has the knowledge base to it, and now it has this outside tool system that allows us to connect to anything. Okay, and when I say anything, you can now connect your voice AI agent to things like internet search capabilities, more database activations, other CRM systems. Really, the functionality and options are totally endless. Now, don't get me wrong, voice Go Highlevel does have a good MCP server, which allows you to do things to high level, like searching contacts, creating contacts, putting things in workflows, and so forth and so on. And those work really well. However, it is the external tool side of things that makes it really good. And when you install these, they do get a little bit tricky sometimes.
And the fact that you can use a bit of problem solving, you're going to see how we go through it, makes this a bit of a better system to use. So really, you're going to learn so much today. You're going to learn voice AI agents, you're going to learn bits of MCP, you're going to learn bits of N8N, and I'm going to top it up with a bit of vibe coding at the end, which is going to be all really cool and awesome. And like I said, this is going to be a skill. You're going to learn an actual skill that's going to be super valuable, because now you can connect all these other things up to it. So sit down, relax, pay attention. If you have N8N, if you have Go Highlevel, make sure you use the timestamps down the bottom so you can skip through a lot of it. If you know how to set up AI agents, do have a quick listen for it, because it's important, because we'll be able to connect the things like the MCP for it, but we're going to work through it really slowly. I'm going to try explain as much as I can. It's really going to be as much as a full course in details. So I want you to have all this power to create all these awesome systems. So big breath, and let's go get into the first parts of it, which is going to be our Go Highlevel setup. So if you already have Go Highlevel, awesome. If you're going to use any of the other tools, retail or anything like that, then all good, just keep watching. However, if you want unlimited Go Highlevel accounts, remember I give you unlimited accounts, including a bunch of extra things in here when you join the school group, which is really cool, but we need Go Highlevel for this. And I'm going to show you again the example for myself that I built out as a voice AI widget on my desktop browser, so I can use functions as an AI assistant on here. But again, you can use this for anything. You can connect this to phone numbers, you can connect this to web widgets. It's really awesome like that. Now, let's go build out a website widget. Now, what is a website widget? What do I mean by that? Now, these AI agents from Highlevel really makes it really awesome and easy, where you can add these widgets and connect them also to telephone numbers. And not only that, you'll have an incoming number, but you'll have an actual website widget that can sit on any website, for example, and you can voice talk to it. Now, I have this in here. I actually have these different ones that they load up for different scenario demos in it. So really powerful things, really valuable for clients, and they sound really good. So real super easy. We're going to come into your Go Highlevel account. You're going to come to AI agents. You're going to come to voice AI. Now again, it's not just about configuring it on a phone number. Yes, you can do that. We are just going to build a little default agent in here, and I can see I have a lot of voice AI agents set up in here. We're just going to go and create a blank one. And if you don't have agency admin, you can't see the marketplace, make sure you ask your agency admin if you want something. There are literally thousands and thousands of voice AI bots on here, but we're just going to go through in here and create a blank one. And again, I'm going to show you how to create this one as a personalized voice AI agent. All right? If you're going to set this up for someone else, make sure you obviously fill the details in, but your agent name is going to be YouTube demo bot, and our system name is going to be, we're going to call it System Pros. And you know what? I really listen.
Hey, Worldly 11 Labs friends.
I listen to most of them, and I kind of like this.
It wasn't the storm that changed her.
It's just got a good calming voice to it. Okay, so we're going to hit the save that button here. Now, obviously it's going to be a website widget. It's going to be on the phone, and you fill the phone stuff in. But here we're just going to say, hey, Altus, how can I help you today? Okay, and we're going to hit the next button in here. Now, agent goals, I'm going to switch to advanced mode in here. Now, if you're going to again set this up for your client, this is where you start configuring things very specific to them. Now, in the previous part, I explained to you that voice AI agents or any other agents has the functionality to load things up within in the prompt. So this is the prompt in here, and it explains and it tells it what to do, but you can also provide basic information. And if it's going to be something short and basic like company about details, this is where you put it in the prompt. However, if we're going to build have larger documents, whether it's spreadsheets, website scrapes, company SOPs and so on, you're going to add it in the knowledge base. So that was the first one. The second part in here is the knowledge base system, so you can add your different knowledge bases in here, which makes that really good. And then so the next level up, if we remember from the first up, we have your basic AI agent that can answer prompts. Then we can make it smarter by allowing it to have access to knowledge bases, like a library of things. And then we can also next allow it now to have tools available to it. And this is where the tool functions come in high level in here. Okay, so this is the tools we can add it, and this allows us to do things within the high level ecosystem. Okay, so we can transfer calls, you can trigger workflows, which is going to be that superpower actually, and we're going to get into it a little bit later on. But triggering workflows is the magic part to things. Next, we'll be able to send SMSs. We're going to be able to update fields, appointment booking, and all these are basics things that you can do into high level. And it's really as easy as just clicking it, appointment booking, select your calendar, go through it, and the high level ecosystem is going to take care of appointment booking for you. It's going to take care of call transfers for you. It can analyze your data once it comes in and update contact fields in here. So during the call, after the call. So really good in here. I'm not going to play around with this too much. Make sure you go through and look at all of them. I don't want to load up a knowledge base for it. We're only going to use our MCP server for this. So we're just going to set this up basic for now. So you can read through the basics of prompting if you need to. There's a prompting guide in here as well. It has an evaluate tool, which shows you how good it is. Now, again, we're just going to go and create this for us as a widget in here. So all I'm going to say is really just going to delete this for a second. And we're going to get to the prompting later on, because we're going to have a very specific prompt for our MCP server. Okay, so all I'm going to say is after the greeting, I want you to tell the person a joke. Okay, so think of it as a basic, as a child, as a new employee. This is the best instructions you need to give them, and we'll get to it soon. But we're just going to do something basics for now. Okay, we're going to leave all these. You leave all these parts in here. This is where we configure workflows and where people get notified once a call is made, whether it's on your website or the phone agent as well. So we're going to hit the next button in there, and we are just going to go a web call testers and start this. Hello? Should probably push the start button.
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
Hello, yeah, apparently you want to tell me a joke.
Of course. All right, here goes. Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts. Hope that gave you a little chuckle. What can I help you with?
Okay, right, basic voice AI agent is done. Now, that's kind of like an in-between backend. It's not really the actual backend, but we want to connect our voice AI agent to something, and the best way to connect it to is either, well, there's only two options at the moment, and it's a phone number or a widget. Now, to connect it to a widget, you're going to come down back to the sides over here, and we're going to hit back. You don't need to be in settings. We're going to come to sites in here, and let's see, I have a couple of demo sites set up in here, and we'll use this one soon, but we're going to come to chat widgets, and as you can see, I've been creating these, using these, selling these, heaps of them happening. We're going to go to new, we're going to go voice AI, because it's going to be a voice AI chat bubble, And we're going to rename this one to YouTube Demo. Okay, so we have that set up in here, and then in the left hand side in here, I'll just move my head a little bit, is where we change the styling. So have a look on the right. Every time we change something in here, this is what it looks like. You can change what the logo look like. Make sure you use the icons that you have in here. You can add your custom icons if you want to. I just think that these phone kind of ones makes it look better. Now, theme, colors, welcome. So this is the pop-up call to action message. So, hi there, Altus. How can I help you today? Okay, and again, this is again for us personal. If you're going to sell it for someone else, you need to figure out this message and make it really personalized. Okay, so question mark in here. It does have some cookies functionality in it. So cookies allows the website, your Chrome browser, to remember if you're coming back again, things like that. So avatar, you want to replace the avatar. If you want to replace it to someone else, it changes down here. Where it pops up makes a big difference as well on your website as well. Kind of by default, we have widgets always on the right hand side down the bottom. And you can change the dimensions, the chat widget in here, the intro, hi Altus, oops, and this one in here, how can I help? And I should probably change our style a little bit again, have the blue theme, and since it's going to be a female voice, a lady's voice, I want to keep that one in there. So that looks pretty good in there. The intros is done. Additional options is the part that shows down the bottom in here. Now you can toggle that all off, or you can fill that in if you want. All right, so messaging, that's all right. Now, what agent are we going to connect to the voice AI widget? And it's just a matter of coming down in here, and we call that one YouTube Demo Bot, I'm sure. And voice AI agent name, we're going to call this YouTube Demo Agent. And you can see it just changed it all in here. So hit the save button. Awesome, you're good to go. Now, we're going to add this into Go Highlevel as well. But what I suggest you do is you open a notepad. So I'm going to come in here, notepad. And you're going to use a lot of things in here. So make sure you add a notepad, add a blank note. And I'm just going to do this for a second because we're going to come back to all of this. Write a bunch of hashes. I need to move my face out the way again. I'll put this down the bottom. And all I'm going to say is voice AI agent code, and I'm going to put a lot of things in here like this, and we are going to go through and get the code. I'm going to copy all of this, and I copied, and I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to push this down in here, and that's all we need for now. Okay, and I'm going to put some hashes in here so we can save that. So our voice AI agent is kind of set up and ready to go. We're going to go through and add it to a website quickly. Now I'm going to come back to sites, and I'll give you this one. I'll share it out as well. A lot of what's in here is from other people. It's the orb. If you follow the Go Highlevel community, someone else has created the orb. I'll leave the details down the bottom. But what it looks like is the orb widget just changes your voice AI widget to look something like this. Okay, so but to add your if you don't have the site, we'll just quickly go through here. We're going to go create a template, and I'll show you that website very soon. We don't even need a template, sorry. We're going to go create a blank YouTube demo for delete. Oh, let's put that so I remember to delete my stuff afterwards. So let that one load. Now the basics for a page is YouTube demo Now, obviously, again, if your client is going to have a website, it's going to be on here, you can give it to them. If you are going to build this out for them, you're going to have a demo with whichever way it's going to be on funnels or on websites. All kind of works the same, but the basics we need is just some functionality in here. Let me quickly show you. We just need a section, and delete that one, blank section. We need a section and we need a column in here, and all I'm going to do is just add a bit of text in here just to say demo, and you can delete this later on. It's going to have to save in here, go back. Now the easiest way to add your widgets to your websites is come down here, select the widget. Oh, it takes a couple of seconds to load, and it's going to be our YouTube demo one. All right, so hit the save in there, and we're really ready to go. Now what we're going to do is we have this website, and from your website with some vibe coding, we'll be able to create this button in here. Now this button really in the back end creates a miniature website with this in here, and we'll be able to change this very soon. I'll show you how all that works. And again, you're going to get all these. Don't worry about creating this, don't worry about redoing it. I'm going to give you the funnel bits down the bottom. I'm going to give you all the AI stuff that you need in here, but we're going to keep going on to high level. So our voice AI widget is done. Pop this one out. And just demo in here, we got it down the bottom. And
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
hey, do you got a joke for me?
Of course. Here's one for you. Why don't skeletons fight each other?
Don't know what happened with that voice part. It was quite interesting, but right. Widget ready to go. Now we're going to go ahead and I'll show you how we can start connecting things together. So the next part is going to be how and where to get your basic N8N and get N8N ready for it. So make sure you use the skippable buttons, make sure you forward and come back, but do follow along because you'll miss important parts if you don't. So let's get to the next part. Now, don't be scared of what I'm going to show you. Don't be put off by N8N. It's a little bit of extra that you got to know. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on N8N with you so you have the basics and the understandings of how that works. But the reason we're using it, now High Level has its own MCP server, and I'm going to explain to you what MCP is in the next couple of videos, but it's the ability to add more functions from outside in your Go Highlevel. Okay, so and you can see the functionality in it now. Private like this, or if you're going to build this for a client out, there's extra options in here. So when we go back to our AI agents in here, and I'll come back to our voice AI YouTube one. This one we just build in here. And what we talked about is our powers. Okay, so the functionality in here. Now, this agent has some limited functions. All right, so we can transfer, trigger, send an SMS, and the send an SMS is to specific person, right? SMS will be sent to it, so very specific to it. But however, if we, for example, need to add more functions to it, we need to create and add those tools to it. Now, the High Level MCP server is good because we can look for events and so forth. So it's specific controllable functions of your sub account using the server that runs in here, and there's 21 tools for it. However, when you want to connect those outside tools and extra functionality in here, because for example, you can see in here search for conversations, get message, send a message. So we can send messages, but what if we want to send an SMS rather than an email? So all this means is we're going to build something of this of our own in Highlevel. Don't get confused, it's super easy. The template is there. All you have to do is fill some basic parts in there. Alright, so that's the reason why we're not using Highlevel's MCP. There's nothing wrong with it. We're just going to add extra tools to it. Alright, so don't get confused, don't get worried about it. The way we're going to create an MCP server is we're going to use N8N with it. Now, N8N is just an automation tool that has pre-connected functionality to AI agents, GPTs, and just about any other software there is. So, for example, if we want to connect our AI agent to a Google Sheet, this is what we're going to use, because N8N has the function of connecting to Google Sheets and doing stuff with Google Sheets, for example. So really good functionality in here. Now, you can get your N8N from N8N.io. It is not free to use. There are pricing to it, and I think it comes up to somewhere like £20, I think. £20 a month, $27 a month. Now, what you can do, and what I suggest you do, is because there's limited functionality in this tiered model, what I suggest you do is head over to Hostinger. And of course, I'm going to give you a discount code as well. So you're going to get discount on discount. There's a Black Friday sale for it. But N8N is open source, and that means that we can host our own N8N server. So you can actually download N8N, put it on your own computer, or we're going to create a virtual machine within the cloud using Hostinger. Now, complex? No, it's not. It's actually in here to have it N8N. It's really popular at the moment. Okay, I'm going to give you the discount codes. We'll get to it soon. I think you end up saving about $300 off from it, but it works out super cheap at the moment. You should go with this one, $7 a month. All right, so super easy. You're going to create this, choose a plan. You get a lot of extra functionality with this. The ability to grow, and I've made lots of other videos with it. You can install WhatsApp servers on it. Is really super great on it. So, and as you can see in here, you save about $276 a month. Super easy. Fill it in as much as you can. Make sure you use the N8N server. Use a server close by to you. You just have to click this one button, put the discount code right in here, pay the bill, hit the commit button, pay the bill. And it's got so much support and help to it, and the actual power that this gives you, again, is it's just totally insane on it. You've got the total AI agent to it, but eventually you're going to go through, you're going to click the pay for it, you're going to add the discount code to it, and you're going to save a fair amount of money to it. And then you'll come up to something that looks really similar like this. Don't get confused, don't get stressed out. We just want to come to our N8N server. It's another one I had. We're going to come to manage in here, and when you have this open in here, don't need to worry about any of these. Super powerful and great to use. You're just going to click the manage app, and once you click the manage app, you'll get presented with your N8N server. It's up, it's running. You might have to fill out your details for the very first time, but this is the kind of interface that you will look like. Obviously, I got all these kind of filled into here, but we're going to go work through it and the basics of explanation for how N8N works. So I'm going to go in here, create a new workflow in here. I just want to show you the basics. How it works is we putting in data on one side, it's going to edit data on the other side, and it's going to spit it out on the other side. So everything works with triggers. You have manual triggers, you have time triggers. There's the plus button to add a trigger if you want to have a manual trigger. Then you can connect this to anything. So it's just like building it out. So instead of make.com being very slow and very one-for-one on this, you can really move this out a lot more, and you got more flexibility with it, including a lot more functionality, which includes the AI agent. So in here, if you want to add a AI agent, for example, we can have this in here, and this will connect an AI agent to it. You have multiple triggers. You can connect multiple modules for it. Obviously, all these chat ones in here depends what API keys you have for it. You have multiple tools that you know can connect to it. For example, the sheets that I'll show you, and then you have an output for it. And you just keep building on like this. So we're going to create something very similar in here, and I'm going to go through all of that very soon. But that is N8N is very super easy, and the way that makes it really good as well is the problem solving with it, because it's really active in showing you what's happening within the back end of it. So if something connects to it, it will show you that something's connecting to it. If something's not connected to it, it will show you how that works as well. So super easy. So in the next part, I'm going to show you how you will be able to just load up an MCP server. I'll show you the basics, so you have the basic understanding of how to build it out, but I'll give you the blueprint, and it's going to very much look like this. Don't get scared, don't get confused. This is me writing as much details as we can in here, and all this means is we have our main trigger in here, and I've just flown it out where we have high level functionality in here, and I've put in as much descriptions as we can, and we have the external tools. And again, this is endless. I'm going to be show you if you want to send emails from your private mailbox to creating Google tasks, Airtables, searching the internet, and updating this. So the availability in your Google Sheet is going to be pretty cool. So I'll show you how to do all this. In fact, what we'll do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to say file, and I'm going to download this for us. And it downloaded the Go Highlevel MCP YouTube video for us. So I'm going to hit back. Now, if you have this, you're going to say create a new workflow, and you'll be able to import it from a file. So import, and I'm going to go to my downloads, and there it is in here. So it's all really just prompting, and then you'll be able to get this entire thing exactly like this. You just need to connect these up, which I'll go through really slow with you so you have an understanding how this works. And the best part is, these are the basics. The capability of endless options that you can add to this is totally insane. So that's why I'm showing you this versus one of these, which is still good, but the power here is supreme. Okay, so next part, I'm going to go quickly through about what MCP is and how it works and why we need all these, because high level is very finicky and special in a way to set it all up. So follow along, timestamps, and let's get into the next parts of this. Okay, this part is going to get a little technical. I'm not going to delve too much into it, I'm not going to bore you too much with it, but you need to just have a little bit of a better understanding on the background for it so you can do problem solving, because no doubt there's going to be some problems that occur, especially when you want to start connecting third-party software into your tools. Now, in the very basics of MCP, MCP means that it's one server that sits in and is configured, ready to go to have all the other integrations. Now, integrations are usually just a form of a webhook, and when we call webhooks, it's a kind of a post method to that server. So you're either giving it information, asking for information, and expecting something back. And that's when we use language like webhook post, API calls, things like that. All right, so the MCP server just means it's one configuration to it. Now, if you didn't have an MCP server and you just want to hook up one tool, for example, you would need to know and understand how this tool works, you need to know how it configures, and your API key, which is kind of like a password for it, but also you need to know where it needs to go, and it's usually a web address, or it's called an endpoint as well. Now, if you have this set up once, if you're going to connect anything else to it, you're going to have to set up another tool for it. You're going to set up the function again. MCP Server allows us to be that one multi-tool that has all the tools already configured to it. So it's kind of a way where we set it up once, and once we have it set up, and again come in here, you can connect anything else to your multi-tool. Obviously we're going to use and connect Highlevel to it, but I just need you to understand quickly how API calls work and why Go Highlevel specific is so difficult. Okay, so you make those API calls, and what makes a good webhook request or a request to connect to a different system, server, software is usually there needs to be an endpoint. So it's kind of like a website address that we need to connect to. There's different methods for it. Either we're gonna ask for something, so we getting something and need some information back, or we're posting. So you get the four things: get, post, put in there, and then we have some sort of authentication to it, and then we have some sort of headers to it. Now this is where the really confusing part comes from. How Go Highlevel is set up is Highlevel in essence as a CRM system, so contact relation management kind of thing. So everything that, or every person or business that we add into Go Highlevel gets a very specific, very unique contact ID, and from that contact ID underneath it is the name, email, address, note, and so on. Okay, so everything is very specific to a contact ID. Contact IDs are very important, and depending how your Highlevel system is set up, you can only either have one name and one email address connected to it. Now, it really evolves around the contact ID. If we want to send an email, we're not sending an email to the email address, but we're actually sending the email to the contact ID, and the contact ID, the system will figure out how to do this. So very specific point, the contact ID, we're going to refer to this a lot. You also have your location ID. Now your location ID is your sub-account ID that we're going to use all the time. So we need to figure out contact IDs for your contacts. We're going to do stuff with it. We need to figure out very specifically how to use your API key as well, which we're going to have to figure out, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So configure your API key, configure your location ID, and contact IDs is what we're going to use for functions. So very much whatever we want to do something, if we want to update the contact into a workflow like I kind of showed, send them a message, we're always going to have to somehow tell our large language module to find a contact ID. If there's no contact ID, so we're going to search for a contact ID of someone. So let's say I want to send Altus an email. We're going to need to see if there's anyone called Altus in the CRM system in your contacts. If so, we'll get the contact ID for Altus, or you can search via email or phone number. If we don't find anyone, we're probably going to have to create someone. So therefore, we're going to have to grab all the details first. Once we have all that, we'll have a contact ID, and then we can do some good stuff with the contact ID. So we can send emails. So we're sending emails, kind of like I said to you, via the contact ID. And again, we also need to add within our function, our API header, we need to add where to, what are we doing, what's the authentication for it. So lots of very technical details that go through it. Make sure you contact me if you want some more information on it. But same thing, if we want to send an email, if we want to send an SMS, we're going to send it to our contact ID. And likewise, if we want to add notes and so on. So contact ID, very important. And then how we communicate with the server. We're going to communicate by sending specific packages. In every function, and this makes Highlevel very hard, every function has a specific URL we got to send. We're going to either do a post, authentication, and all of that. But don't worry if this is very confusing. I am going to give it all to you in here, I'm going to show you how to get them as well. So all the high level, everything in Go Highlevel is added into the documentation. It helps, and it's recently changed. And all you have to look up is Go Highlevel API documentation. Now it was on Spotlight, I think. So these are old Spotlight.io. The new ones is in the marketplace in here. And the search function in here. So let's say we want to get or search for a contact. All right, so search contact. You'll see that all the information comes up in here. Search for contacts. You can look this up. So contacts, search a contact. You can look this in here. Now this is where it all comes in. So take a second, come to this for example, and you'll see our endpoints that we talked about in here, the website. The method is going to be a post. What we require is our API documentation, and we need to set up the headers very specifically, and then also get your location ID and very specific things in here. So it's going to get a little bit complicated. Just work through, stop, restart, but I'm giving you everything in here. I'm going to show you how to create a new one quickly, and then we're just going to edit these ones really fast over. So in the next part we're going to go through is just creating a basic MCP server to search for a contact. Okay, so very basic one, and then I'll show you how to make it more complex. So you have that amazing tool, and again I'll show you the end part is you're going to be able to do anything to this. All right, you're going to be able to build your own stuff. It's going to be very specific to a business. If the business needs to do things in the sub account, if the business needs to do things outside of high level, works really great. This is going to be really amazing. If you've come this far, just keep watching. I know it's technical, I know it might be hard, and I'm trying my best to explain it with some images, but let's get into the next part where we're going to create a cool function for ourselves. So let's get into that. So the next part is going to be a little bit more technical, because I'm going to show you how we actually create those modules. Now I'm going to give you the full blueprint to download. I'm going to show you the full prompt to download. You can literally copy and paste this. I just want to show you how I created these, and it's important to understand this, because understand where problem solving comes, where I get it from, when Go Highlevel adds more functions to it, where to add this from. So we're going to just go a little bit slow. I'm going to show you how to create a basic create a contact tool, how to start your first MCP server, how to add that create contact tool in your MCP server, connect it up to your voice AI agent for it, and then we're just going to add a outside tool, which is just going to be Google Sheets, which is really easy for that in there. So use the skip button if you feel like you know this and you're only here for the big workflow. But again, very important for this, trying to get you to understand how these modules and parameters work and where they come from, because it's so important to make this customizable for yourself and your client, because you're going to get to a point where they have a separate software up and it all works the same. API, headers, webhooks all work the same. You're going to learn so much in the next couple of modules. So let's have a look, and starting with the basics, starting small, and we're going to grow this out. So stick through it as much as you can. Okay, for some exciting bits, let's start, and I'm going to show you how to do your first little one MCP server like this. We're going to set up a basic one, but just part of all the training, and I hope I didn't skip much, is the most important part is always going to be, and I've made the notes in here, it's going to be the searching for a contact and getting that contact ID, because ultimately that is everything we do within the Go Highlevel control side of our CRM system is going to have to do with the contact ID. Send the email, move it, add it to a workflow in it. So don't worry too much about these. We're going to get into it. Make sure when you download and save it, again, we'll be down the bottom. You have that, but just for now, you're just going to hit the back button for a second, and we're going to go create a new workflow in here. And we're just going to leave this part like this for now. And let's go get our Go Highlevel ready. So next thing you need to do is open back up your notepad and like this. And next thing we're going to do is we're just going to do a couple of hashes like this, and we're going to say this is going to be your location ID. And I'm going to pop through a couple of hashes in like this, and then one more like this, and I'm going to say like this. I'm going to say private integration API key / token. All right, so API keys, tokens, access tokens, keys, they're all very, very similar. And in here, and in here. All right, so you're going to move that back over that side. We're going to come back in here, and we are going to hit one back through in here. Now, in your URL, in the top over here, you will find your location ID. So not much you can see is in here, but it says location and it has a number / voice AI agent. That's the one I'm going to copy. And then let me move this back up like this. Come back in this, in here, location ID, paste that one in there. So very similar to that. Then next part in here is we're going to come to settings. We're going to come to private integrations. A little bit around my head. Private integrations in here. And we're going to come through and we're going to create a new one. I always have to call this delete now, and this is going to be demo for YouTube. Okay. Now, this is a very important API key. This is what's going to give N8N all the power and control to control things within the said sub account. All right, so you don't have to go create a separate authentication somewhere. You don't have to go create zero auth, and it's all part of the high level API access. Now, if you don't have private integrations, and if you're on the lower plane and you're going to have a problem, in short, when we look up, we go to Go Highlevel, you'll see that it should show the packages down the bottom, and you'll see we have control over all our API functions in here. Now, most of this is in here. API access integrates with anything, but there's also some of the more advanced functions in here that you need. So if something doesn't work, this will be the problem within here. However, most of this has got to do with agency access, so don't have to worry too much about it. You do, however, need to be on a 297 plane at the very least. Okay, so let's head back over to Go Highlevel in here, and now it's going to be scopes. So scopes is going to be the permissions that we're going to give N8N to do. Now, if you're only going to do something with calendars, all you have to do is add calendars. You can add all the calendars. If you want to do contacts, view and edit contacts, is going to be in here. However, we're probably going to build a server that's going to do everything, right, as much as we can. So I always just like to select everything. And all we need to do is just come through, copy and paste all of these eventually through, and you'll have all of them out. So give me a second. Let me go through all of these. It will take you a couple of minutes just to select it. So I'll pause in here and I'll select all of them. Alright, only took a couple of minutes and I have all things selected in here. Scroll down a little bit and you'll be able to see. And I have everything pretty much sorted in. Okay, so once you have all of those in, we are kind of good to go. We try to zoom out a little bit. And there shouldn't be any more options for you to add anything in here. So we're all added, all set. So we're going to go generate. We're going to say confirm. Gives a warning saying you're adding some real crazy stuff in here, and this is going to be our token. So we're going to hit the copy and come back through in here, and then we have our token right there. So in here, copy, close that one out, and that will load through. So each now and then you should try expire and rotate them. I don't need any of that right now, so we're all good to go. At that, I have to delete now one in there, and that's what you need in Go Highlevel to set this up. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to come back in the workflow and over here, and all we're going to do is I'm going to show you how it works. Now let's go through in here. We're going to go use the create contact function. So this is going to be a basics of creating HTTP request, token request on this. So I'm going to have to delete in there. So I'm going to say delete and delete that part. Now again, I'm going to give everything to you. You'll be able to copy and paste this. I just need you to understand how these work. So we're going to create a back-ended function that's going to create a contact for us. All right, and then I'll show you how we translate it into an MCP server, and then I'll show you how we connect it all together. So bear with me, it is very technical, but I want you to have a really good understanding of it. Now, N8N works. The first thing is going to be a trigger contact. So all we're going to try and do is create a contact with fields we're going to fill in manually. Okay, so you can come back to the Go Highlevel API in here, and all we're going to look for is create a contact. Now it's super easy to do with the documentation in here. So create contact. Create a contact. Okay, so I just zoomed in here a little bit so you can see how things work. So these are all the requests we do and send out, and all we need to do, so this is creating a contact, very specific to creating a contact, and will give us a contact ID, and this is what the request would look like. Now I did this earlier on, and in short what we do is we fill in our API key in here. So that's where this API key, we go the token, it's going to come through in here. The version we want is this one, and then all we need to do is change the parameter in here where we have our location. So I'm going to change that one, copy this one in here. Now, to get all this into Highlevel and N8N, so this is creating a contact. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a contact manually. Okay, so this is a lot of contact details in here. Our best thing to do is just come in here. This is the curl request. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to come to your favorite chat module or chat AI, large language module. I'm going to say create a curl request from this below. All I want to send is the first name, last name, email, and phone number. I don't want all this other stuff to do. So imagine you're on a voice AI system and you're going to have to ask for the gender, the phone number, the address, the postal code, all that. We don't need any of that. We're just going to be able to create basic contact details. So I'm just going to paste that in there. And so see, that's all of it. There's a JSON field, and don't worry about it. Just want to show you how this works. Here's a simple curl request, and all I'm going to do is hit the copy in here quickly, and then so basic curl. I'm going to come through in here. We're going to come N8N. We're going to say HTTP request, and we're going to import from your header. I'm going to say import. Super easy, and that's how I created most of the other ones that you see in here. So you can see when we talked about API request, endpoint method authentication, headers, this is what it's all about. Our post method, the endpoint. We don't have authentication, but in the headers, we're sending our API key, and our API key is going to be this one in here. So your token, we're going to take in here, and we're going to replace that one with that, like that. Nice. So first name, we're going to say is Altus. We can go with these ones in here. I just want to show you how it works when we actually go at fixed value. Okay, so Snowman, and this I'm going to say snowman@gmail.com, and phone number +642125504993. Now, location ID is going to be that one we have, and it already has that one in there. Awesome. And like this, and then all we have to do, so N8N is going to be input. Our input is going to be a click, editing data, execution. And it does some stuff. Brilliant. It's created a new contact for us. Our contact ID is here in the top. This is what we need for everything. So contact ID is in here. Now if I look up Altus Nyman, you can see when you click on it, it will load my basic details in here. And if I scroll this down a little bit in here, you'll see contact ID there, ending 7FN, matches T7FN in here. And that's pretty much how you would create this. Now, we're going to copy this curl request. We still have this open in here. That's awesome. Now, we are going to come back in here. Let's build an MCP server of this. Delete this. We're going to say add this. We're going to start our first ever MCP server. Really excited in here. So MCP trigger tools. Now, the way N8N works, and the reason I like this, is we have the ability to now create something that is something that we can look at and go through step by step and diagnose any problems. And once we're ready for production, we can go into production. So all I'm going to say is we're going to hit the test URL in here. So I'm going to hit test in here. Now, when you do this, you need to set up your own bit of authentication. I'm just going to say none. All right. If you're going to set this up later on, go through and create a username and password for your server to connect to N8N. Very important. But for now, we just want this test server, okay? Because I want to show you how we do all the tests in this. So we have our MCP server. It's going to start. Now again, we're going to do the same thing. This is about to create a contact. So HTTP request. We're going to come back in here. We're going to copy this part in here. We're going to come back in here. We're going to say import from here. Paste that part in there. Import it. Now here's the cool parts in here. The only thing we need to add is your authentication key again. And we are gonna add this in here. All right. So, some very important parts in here now. What you need to start doing when we set these up is these values, it's not gonna be static or fixed. We're gonna ask our voice AI agent for details, okay? So, therefore it's gonna need to be an expression. But we can get the AI to actually put the correct values in there. Now, you can delete this. It's very tempted to push the set button over here. Do not push that when you create these modules, because when you push it, it only shows as a blank parameter. So the AI will just put anything in there. We need to be a little bit more specific on this. So I'm going to go with this. So expression in here. Then I'm going to say this curly bracket, and I'm going to say $sign from AI. Now, when we have this in here, this explains to you what it is. So the important part is here that we now can set a description. So your large language module, which is going to be Go Highlevel, will be able to know what that is. So delete this in here for a second. Once we add descriptions of what is required, it knows to add that in there. All right, so very important parts in here. So from AI, Then it's going to be single quotation marks, if that's what you call them. And I just give it a name. Contact first name. Alright, you can spell it out like this. Make sure it's all one line. Make sure it kind of says a bit of a description of what it is. But we're still going to put the description. So you hit the comma, you hit the space, you hit the single ones again, and it will automatically put both in here. And now you can see it kind of just tells you, now we're up in the description bit. See how it's highlighted? Really awesome like this N8N is. And we're going to type in description. We're going to type in first. Just need to make that disappear a little bit because it goes over the field. First name of the contact. Alright, so we got from AI, which is going to be a variable. So AI is going to determine what should be filled in this field, and it's going to be contact, first name, and the description of it is going to be a bit in here. So very easy like that. We're going to then copy this, and we're going to paste this, and we're going to say expression in here. We're going to say contact last name, and we're going to say last name of the contact, and I'm going to paste that in again, expression. We're going to say contact email, of the contact, and make sure you delete all these. It's very important we keep our spaces and singular quotation marks, okay? But I filled all this out for you, so you don't have to worry about this. Expression, now from contact, and this is going to be our contact phone number. And it's going to say phone number with country code. Okay, so don't overthink this. I've done all of these for you. I'm just trying to explain to you where these come from. Okay, so these are all pre-filled out. We need these: first name, last name, email address, phone number, location ID is set in here. Now, sweet, guess what? You have your first MCP server in here that is able to create a contact. How do we use it? So let me go in here, come back in here. We are gonna delete this one here. Let's say delete. Yes, delete that. So I don't have my name in here. We're gonna come back in here. We're gonna double click this, copy that. Then we're gonna come back to our AI agents. So AI agents, voice AI agents. I'm going to scroll back down to the agent list. I'm going to come back to the YouTube demo we have in here. It's not connected to anything, and it's good because we can test it all in here. But here we go. So I know you want to or might not have done these before, let me rather say, but if you're going to fill these out of the knowledge base, you can add the knowledge base. The prompt is going to be the first step, knowledge base going to second step. Now custom actions, I want to show you the top tier level of it. So what we're going to do is in here we're going to say plus, add an MCP server in here, and our MCP server is going to be extra tools. We're going to come back here, we're going to copy that, we're going to come here, we're going to paste this and hit this, delete that part in there. Timeout, we don't have to do this. When you do the headers and you're going to add actual authentication to it, then we need to fill these parts, and you don't have to do that. All right, you should, but now for now we're just going to test this. So I'm back in here, we're just going to say execute the workflow. We're just going to leave it for a second, and we're going to say save this part in here. Now because that's running, you'll see your MCP server tools in here. Now we can start adding extra tools. So we're going to say add, and it's going to start connecting to it, and it's going to come up in here, and it will just say HTTP request. So that's a really good point. That's a bad idea. Close that, don't need that. Close that, don't need that. We forgot to do something very important. Stop this part, double click this part. We're going to call this tool is going to be the create contact tool, and we're going to give it a good description. Create a contact in Go Highlevel. This requires the first name, email, first name, last name, email, and phone number with country code. I'm going to come back in here, hit the save button. I'm going to test this workflow. Come back in here. Now, let's see what happens here. See, it loads a little bit, extra tools loading, and there we go, create contact tool. Awesome. Now, the descriptions is very similar sometimes. I always do this, copy these over, copy this over, hit that, and speak during this. Let me create a contact for you. Now, let's save this part. Now, right, create contact tool. Now I'm going to tell my prompt to actually do this. So, I'm going to come back to the top and say, if Altus says he wants to create a contact, then tell him that you can do it. You use the MCP extra tools server and use the tool called create. Now I'm going to give you the prompts too, don't worry about it. Contact tool to create a contact. This will require you to obtain the first name, last name, email, and phone number with a country code. All right, that should make sense. All I'm saying is if you want to create a contact, use this server, use this tool, and to use this tool, we need a couple of things. Now it does actually pick all this up. We are kind of triplicating things to make sure we have things right. We're saying the tool in here is going to require 4 things. We are saying the tool has description and what they are. Then we're also saying that when we want to use these tools, that it requires 4 things, and then we're telling the prompt that we're going to use some things. So the AI should now know that we require a couple of things. So let's go give this a test. So come through in here, I'm going to execute this workflow. We're going to say start our web call.
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
Hey, yeah, no, I just need to create a new contact in my CRM, please.
Sure thing. I can help with that. I'll just need a few details to get started. Could you share the first name, last name, email, and phone number with the country code for the contact?
Yeah, sure thing. So my the contact's first name is Altus, spelled A-L-T-U-S. His last name is Snyman, spelled S-N-Y-M-A-N. His email address is altussnyman@gmail.com, and his phone number with the country code is, so it's +64 21 255 0493.
Got it. The contact for Altus Snyman has been successfully created in your CRM with the provided details. Is there anything?
Now, this is what I mean. N8N is so great. we can actually now see what's happened in here. You can see it came in, you can see it's a tick, and if there was anything wrong in here, it will show it to us. But hey, we just created a contact, and now we have a contact ID in here. Super awesome, super basic, and from here on you can now start building up anything else with this. So let me show you two more things in here. So I'm going to show you how to add a node to this, and then how we're going to add third-party tools to this so you can use other things to it, and then we will jump back to the main one that I'm going to give you that's already set up. I just need you to understand how these work. So bear with me, use the skip button if you need to, but it's really important you understand how to problem solve these in here as well. So next part, we're going to add the add tool part. Okay, so let's go. Let me show you how we're going to do the add the node the same way. And when you want to build this out and build out your own functions, because you want these, you might want to build out whatever tools you have and functions. And then, like I said, this is what makes the difference between the high level MCP to me than the one we build it ourselves. We're only adding things that we want. All right, so enough of that. Note. In the top here, I'm going to say note. Get all notes, get a note, and we're going to look up notes in here. Get notes, create a note, it's kind of cool. And guess what? Here it is again. So API key, contact ID is the one that we're going to need in here. I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3, 4 in here for a second. I'm going to make sure I select the version number in here. And body is the part we're going to have in. So this is like a very basic one. So just from here, I'm going to say copy node again. Now, because this is really short, there's nothing to copy out of. I don't need to go to ChatGPT to add that. I can if I need to. However, we can just in here simply come in and grab HTTP response. And then I'm going to say add node to contact, use this tool to add a note to a contact. All right, so import that in there, and we're going to paste this part in here. We're going to say import that part in here, so you can see our headers is going to be different again. The application JTOG authorization, this time it's saved it in here because we used it before. And this is now where we're going to have the user ID. So the user ID and contact ID is the part that's going to match. Now, I'm going to have to do some AI magic again. I'm going to come through in here, say expression again. And I'm going to do this, oops, expression, and I'm going to say, from AI, what is this going to be? This is going to be the contact, and I'll put this capital ID because that's what high level gives, and I'm going to put this, and I'm going to say the contact ID of the contact. I have that part in there. Now in here, the body, guess what the body is going to be? Very similar. Come through in here, expression, I'm going to say note body, I'm going to say the note the note body or text that you want to add to the contact. Okay, have that part. That's all we need. Now we're just gonna have to tell high level a couple of things again. So in here, keep that one up in there, hit the save button in here. We're going to do the same stuff here again. So I'm going to come here, use this tool to add a note to the contact. You will need the contact ID and you will need the details of the note message body. Alright, so just giving it, I'm giving it as much explanation as I can. Come through in here. Now, hit the save, execute the step, so it's in here. Now remember, I don't know if you're quite clear about this, every time Highlevel or N8N has a trigger or a call in here, you're going to have to reschedule this every time. So this is just for when we're testing this out. Okay, so we're going to come back in here, same MCP server. We're going to scroll down. We're going to say add a tool. And this is going to load a second. I'm hoping it loads all this in for us. Not sure why it took a little bit extra long, but you can see we have create contact in there. Now add notice in here. I'm going to do the same thing in here. I'm going to paste that one in here, save a contact and that. Now, an important thing we need to tell the prompt. After you create this tool, after you create a contact, you will receive a contact ID back. Remember this number. If the user, if Altus says he now wants to add a note to this contact, then use the MCP extra tool server and the tool called create note to contact or add note to contact, add note to contact to add a note. You will need the contact ID that you received before, and you will require the note message to add. Very similar to this. Alright, so I just typed it all out. So we're going to hit the save button here. Now we're going to go back. Now remember, it doesn't have any memory, so let me just duplicate this. I just want to go delete myself. Now, it won't remember what I did earlier on, okay, because we ended the call, the service ended, so it won't remember my contact ID. So let's go back in here. We go contacts. It's going to look up ALTCUTMAN. Have that puppy, delete that puppy. Delete. Dismiss, and we are going to come back. We're going to make sure our workflow is running. Now, remember what I said, every time we action the workflow, we're going to have to add more things to it. So we're going to have to restart this.
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
Hello, yes, I need to create a contact in my CRM, please.
Sure thing. I can help with that. I'll just need a few details to get started. 1. First name 2. Last name 3. Email address 4. Phone number with the country code. Let me know when you're ready.
Alright, obviously that sounds terrible. The reason it sounds terrible is because there's no proper prompting in here. Alright, my prompting is horrible, that's why it sounds bad. Have better prompting and this will sound better. Alright, so but let's just go through this again.
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
Hi, yes, I want you to create a contact in my CRM. So I have the details of this person. So the CRM contact I want you to create is first name is going to be Altus, spelled A-L-T-U-S. The last name is going to be Snyman, spelled S-N-Y-M-A-N. The email is going to be altussnyman@gmail.com, spelled ALTUSSNYMAN@gmail.com. And then the phone number with the country code is going to be +6421255049
All right, the contact for Altus Snyman has been successfully created in your CRM. The contact ID for this entry is BWFIBLWX 5 OZA 75. Let me know if you'd like to add a note to this contact or need help with anything else.
Now that's good. So let's add a note, and the note needs to say, job well done.
It seems there was an issue adding the note. The system.
Alright, so there's an issue, and I bet it's going to be with the contact ID. Contact ID 121212 was not found. Alright, so why did it try add a contact with an ID 1212? I do not know. Contact ID. Right. User ID. Where is contact ID? So somewhere something is amiss. There we go. Contact. Anyway, so what I did wrong was in here. A lot of times, contact ID. Right. I got this confused. Stop all over with this. This is what I mean. You make mistakes and you realize it. So within the URL post here is our contact ID. Okay. This is where the contact ID go. User ID is actually the person, the user of the system that's creating this note. Okay. So the staff member, the user. So I don't need that. See how it's not required? I don't need that. That was perfect that it gave that problem, because now I know the defaults in here. In a lot of them, you have the contact ID in here, and it includes that in there. So easy little fix in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. So stick with me for a second. The thing I have in here, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back into the URL in here. Now I'm going to come through here. I'm going to say expression in here. Then I'm going to delete the 1212 in there, and scroll down. It's not going to need this part in here, and we'll see if execute the step actually works. So we have this, it's already sent this through, so sometimes it works. No, all right. So instead of filling in a manual, we just quickly go through it again, and I'll quickly go through here, look up Altus again. So that's not great. That's great that I had an error, so you can see how to problem solve these. Delete that one in there, dismiss. So we have this running again, and we're gonna new call, web call, start a call.
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
Hello, yes, I wanted to create a new contact in my CRM. The contact is going to be first name Altus, spelled A-L-T-U-S. The last name is going to be Snyman, spelled S-N-Y-M-A-N. The email address is going to be spelled ALTUSSNYMAN @gmail.com. And the phone number is going to be +6421255049
Got it. I've successfully created the contact for Altus Snyman with the email address altussnyman@gmail.com and phone number +6421255049 Let me know if you'd like to add a note to this contact or need help with anything else.
Yes, no, I'd like to add a note, please.
Sure thing. Could you let me know the note you'd like to add to this contact?
I want the note to say job well done.
The note, job well done, has been successfully.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So you can see how we created it. I need to push this button every time to have this. If you're going to set this up as a production we are going to go to the production URL, and you're going to save. You're going to enable it, and that enables it to run all the time. But in here, you can see it takes your contact ID and it says job well done. Awesome work, right? Really, really good. So let me now go and add a couple of external tools so you see how that works. So that was high level ones. I'm going to show you all the rest of high level, but it's important to get the contact ID. It's important for you to understand how to add this. Some modules have it in the URL, some modules have it out static, but I've filled all these in for you already, so you'll be able just to copy and paste this. But I need you to understand how when things goes wrong, how that works. So next part, we're going to add a internet search function with Perplexity, and we're going to add the Google Sheets to it to just make it really good and easy for you to understand. So good work so far. Deep breath. You're doing amazing. You're doing awesome. You've just started your own MCP server that you can totally customize now. So next part, I'm going to put this in production, and we're going to add some more nodes to it. Now, just again, depending how far you're into this module, I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you the vibe coding coded application that sits in the top in here that you can just click and it opens up the tool for you. I'll give you the funnel website. It needs the orb. You can change it to either the orb or the chat menu. We're going to go through all of this. I'm going to give you the actual prompt to use all these tools as well. And then I'm going to give you this workflow. And this workflow, all you need to go do is there's a bit of description around all of it. It explains why it's important, but all you're going to need is your API token key and your location ID from within your high level. That's the only things you're going to need through it. So you're going to get everything, but I really need you to just go through the training so you have the understanding about how to problem solve this. You're going to learn something with vibe coding, and once you eventually get to the amazing prompt that I've created, you need to understand why we asked the prompt certain things, including the MCP server setup. So stick with me through this. It's going to be super educational, and you're going to have a really, really deep understanding on how this works, so you can actually build systems like this, but also have systems that can now connect to all of it together. So it's going to be the most valuable thing that you have learned this entire year. So any other tool that you can think of, we can now add this in here, as long as we have the AI function in here. So this AI tool that we call in here, and some of them, if you have a private integration somewhere else with a private server for your client, might very well work the same like this. You just have to find API calls for it and the authentication and the structure for it. You just need to find these documentations like this. Now, every business that has a half decent set of software has this in here. Okay, so it works really well that way. Now, extra tools that N8N has built in here, there is a lot. There's from database checkups, Google Sheets, Google Documents, Airtables, to name a few. We are going to do two things. We're going to give it internet access, number one, which is going to be super easy. Number two is that we're going to be able to add a Google Sheet to it and do stuff with Google Sheets, which is really good as well, especially for clients that use Google Sheets or any sheets or anything that synchronizes with a sheet. So if you can update a Google Sheet, there's also other tools that sync with Google Sheets. So really cool to have that in the middle point. A lot of Google things, a lot of Google and Microsoft stuff syncs with, or a lot of things syncs with those tools. Even high level calendars syncs with that. Any other calendars always syncs with Google in a way. So if you can update Google Sheets, Docs, calendars, then the other systems will usually update as well. So very important points in there. So let's just quickly give it internet access. Really super easy. So I'm going to call this one Perplexity. So Perplexity is a large language module that you will require an API key, but it allows you to search the internet with the LLM. So Perplexity is simply here, and all I can do is it answers things with Google, but it also allows you, it answers things as a large language module like ChatGPT, but it also has access to the internet. So all you have to do in here is come and get an API key. So it's usually in here, accounts, API keys, down the bottom, and you put some credit on. So $5 credit, that will give you an API key. And once you come in here, it's a matter of connecting your account. So you connect your account in here, and then we are going to do very much the same. So Perplexity tool, we're going to say search the internet, search the internet. We're going to scroll down in here, and we're going to do the AI thing again. So expression in here, I'm going to say from AI, what's this going to be? Search term, and what's it going to do? What's the description of it? What the user wants to search for on the internet. Now, in there, have that in there. That's all we need, just this one. Really cool extra function to have if you're going to have your personal assistant in there. Going to hit the execution tool in here again. We're going to come through in here. We are going to go back to our tools, and in here, I'm going to say add a tool, and it'll get a second to load again and refresh itself. Here we go, search the internet tool. Use this tool to search the internet. I wish I could just copy and paste that, but anyway, we have this. That's search internet tools in there. Oh, did I save it? Yeah, it's in there. And I'm gonna say use the search the internet tool to search for requests on the internet. Now, all we need to remember is these ones, horrible spelling. Obviously, when you search for on the internet, it takes a little bit of time if you think what a Google search is to get the correct version of it. What Perplexity does in the back end is it searches for what is the weather in Auckland, NZ. Alright, so it does take a couple of minutes. Well, this was really fast, right? Super fast this was. The API tool is a little bit slower, but let's go through in here. Stop that request that one. We're going to say new call, web call, start the call.
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
Hey, I just need you to quickly search up on the internet what's the weather like in Auckland tomorrow.
The forecast for Auckland on November 1st, 2025, predicts mild spring weather with a high around 20 degrees Celsius.
Alright, sweet. So that's how you would add a search for it. Now, again, there's multiple tools. I can't add and show you any of them. And the default one that I give you, there's lots of it. But for example, Google Sheets in here is the one I have in Sheets. Really good at updating Sheets. You can search in Sheets. So Google Sheets, the operation we have is get rows, add rows, delete rows, create rows, append rows, all comes in here. It's going to hit the stop button in there. All has functions from within here. Now, connecting Google into N8N is a little bit harder. I do suggest you search up on the internet for it, but it's a matter of creating a key for your Google account, and that allows you to connect all Google things to it. I'm not going to go too much into that because it's going to be beyond in this video. We'll get extra long, but you need a Google connection. Really easy to do. The more you do it, the easier it will get. But that will give you access. You know it's connected when it's green, and you know it's connected when it shows up all your sheets in here. So, for example, I have the car odometer one here. When I go to Google Sheets, come through in here. It's just such a basic one. And again, you can do searching, you can do appending, you can do reading, anything you can do with Google Sheets that module can do. But all we have to do in here is we're just going to append some rows to it. So it's just a basic one, appending a time and the actual the reason, right? So distance, reason, time. Really easy to do. So come back in here. I'm going to say car odometer. What I want to do, I have the sheets in here, but oh, sorry. I will actually bring up the sheets. What I want to do is I don't want to get all the rows. If you want to search for a row and want to get the function, it's going to get a row, but we are just going to go append a row. We're going to append it on that sheet 1 in there. We're going to map each one manually. And this one, so N8N has a function called now. So expression. Now. It should be hash now. Hash now, which brings up, hash $sign now, which brings up the date and time of now. Now there's bits that you can add to it where we can change the time zone to it. Just Google that. There's the time zone parameter goes in the back if you need the time zone in here. So this just accumulates from our rows and the reason in our columns in the top. So what is distance? Guess what? We are going to use expression. We're going to say from AI, and what is this going to be called? This is going to be distance km, and I'm going to say distance and kilometers. Alright, so I have that. So all I'm going to say to AI needs to ask for the distance in kilometer and the reason, so a reason for travel. Guess what again? And here from sometimes I do mess those up as well. From AI, this is going to be reason for travel, and the description is what is the user's reason for travel. And we have all that. That's all done. That works. Now we're going to hit the save button here. Then we're going to do something awesome. We're going to copy that part in there. Then we're going to put this as active, and I want to show you how that works. So this is going to run all the time now from that very awesome option in there. We're going to come back in here and we're going to change this out to the production one. All right, so update and close. Come back in here and we're going to add a new tool, and that's going to load successfully for us. Save that action. Oops, the description of this: use this tool to add odometer readings to a sheet. You will need the distance and kilometers, and you will need the reason for travel. Hit the copy in here, close that one, come in here. You can update the records using the, what do I call it again? Oh, Stuart, I didn't call it something good. This is bad. See, made a mistake. Delete that. Yes. Cancel. So that one's not in there. Come back in here. Name your stuff better. Name it all. Update. Odo. Tool description. Set manually. Use this tool. Distance in kilometers. Nice. Hit the save button in there. This will update for us, and hopefully I still have the production one in there. Let that load for a second and use the Odo. Nice. Paste that back in there. save that one in there. We're on a roll. Use the search internet tool, use the update odo tool, add odo tool 2, and I should odometer be able to just scan this across. Very bad prompting, very bad prompting. New call, web call, start a web call.
Hi, Altus. How can I help you today?
Hi, yes, I want to update the odometer reading in my sheet.
Got it. Could you please tell me the distance in kilometers and the reason for your travel?
So the distance in kilometers was 15 kilometers, and the reason is that I just need to go grab a pizza.
All set. I've updated the sheet with 15.
Sweet, done. Updated, updated, updated. Now, if you come in here in executions, you'll be able to see all previous executions. This one has just come through. You can click on that and you can see which ones it's updated. Okay, so use that tool to update it. Super easy, super effective. Okay, so that is how you add other tools. Now, like I said, this is what makes this so amazing, is the fact that we now can add absolutely anything to this, any tool you can think of. There are so many of them. I think I lost count how much there is, and if there's not a specific tool for it, it's another HTTP request for it. This gives your AI agents unlimited capability and power. Like, this is just the G's, that's the H's, that's the M's. Super cool, super amazing for it. So we can now transcribe that to Telegram. Yeah, these are what make things a lot better, and this is the whole reason you want this, because we can customize things like this. So in our next video, I'm going to hit this one off. I'm going to turn this one off for a second, and all I'm going to go through, in fact, we can keep this one on because we'll build out our chatbot through this. But what I'm going to show you next in the next one is all we're going to go through is we're going to go through the example that you download. So now that you have a good understanding of that, I want to show you this, and I want you to understand what's happening here, so you can just take this, and all you need to do, location ID and token. It's all you need for this. All you need for this tool is location ID and token. So let's get into the next one after this. Okay, so let's look over this bad boy right here. It is a total amazing system. So all set up, I've written out the bits on the side, but from the training just before, your MCP server is sitting over here. You want to double click that, you see the URLs that we used. This one I have put an authentication on here. There's the production one if you want to use. You should not have anything like this when you go and import it and output it. And if you miss the other part, it's simply a matter of coming in here and you're going to import from file, and the file that I've given you will be in here to download and import. And all you need to do is go through, delete what you don't want, and then just remember to add it to your actual server. So you can see now, once we go in here, and I'll actually delete this server later on, I am gonna say no authentication in here, none for a second, and I'll save this one in here, and you can see these are all the ones that you just need to go and delete, and the names correspond very much similar. So if we come in here, we're going to add a new MCP server. Again, this has come from the other side. Make sure you go look at it. Demo delete. I'm going to save this for a second. Error because I made that wrong. So hit that save in here, and you'll see once you load it in here, You go add the tools. It should load all those tools for us. Some of it's given an error. Oops, execute the workflow. I'm going to come back and try it again. Add a tool. And you'll see it will have all those tools in there, from sending messages to sending emails, internet access. All those are in there. Make sure you delete the ones that you don't want. Alright, so delete the ones you don't want, add the ones you need to. Hopefully from the previous video you would have seen it. Not sure why this one doesn't want to delete that little server in there. Delete. Yes, delete. MCP server gone. But in here, I'm just going to quickly go through. So the previous module went on about how to create these. The most important steps in here for anything, if you're going to use Go Highlevel, is finding the contact ID. Now, either you're going to have to search for a contact ID. Let's quickly go here. Either we need to search for our contact ID, or we need to create a new person to get the contact ID, and this is all it does in here. So this is your search, the contact ID, and I've put in with the explanation. So this is the high level explanation. Sure, let me zoom in as much as we can. So this is a bit of an explanation of what these modules do. Work your way left to right if you want to read through all of this. Lots of things to read. These are the URL references that I showed you previously that comes to the actual explanations of all of these. But all this means is the search URL, and we have the creator URL. You need to use either one of these to get our contact ID first. So use this tool to search for it, and all you need to do is hit your private API in here, and you just need to go through and make sure we find wherever our location IDs are in here. Now remember, sometimes some things might be in the URL, sometimes some things might be in here. But I've given a bit of description along all of these. So searching for contact, creating a contact. Again, in here, create a contact is going to be posts, it's going to be contacts. You need to add your own API key in here, the private one that we show you created. And your location ID goes in here again. And then the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. If we're going to send an email, you actually use the same function. It's called send a message. We just need to decide where it's going to be send an email. And again, nothing in the URL. Scroll down, you need to put that one in there. You can't highlight any of these, which makes it a bit hard. Could have pulled this out better, I guess, with actual contact IDs, but that's alright, because now we're using the contact ID that we have previously. So it's going to automate all those for us. So this is about to send an email in HTML format, and things we need in here is the subject, contact ID, and our message. Same with sending an SMS. If you have the SMS up in here, send an SMS. We have here. You got to put that one in there. Scroll through again. We find our own contact ID again, so it finds it, and then the value is about to send it. Now, don't get too worried and confused with it. HTTP modules in N8N are either pre-filled out or it's in JSON format. So it's all really JSON format, using JSON. And this is a very specific format with commas, spaces, and tabs. However, sometimes N8N makes it easy and it just actually still says it's JSON format, but we're using it in a field form for us. So just a different way, still JSON, using a field form where we just have these in here. It's just sometimes, especially when we use telephone numbers, so creating a URL or searching for URLs, you can see in here when we need to search for things sometimes. Don't overthink this, but it's the difference between a number and a string, numerical and string. So it's just a different way. It means the same thing. So sending messages, email, sending SMSs, doing messages. So workflows. So here's the biggest tip. If you want to add and do stuff, we're going to need to trigger workflows and custom workflows and put people into workflows very specifically. Now, you can use the workflow messages in here to create dynamic workflows. So I would suggest, if you're going to create a new campaign, create opportunities, pipelines, any of that, to create a workflow for it. So the workflow will add the tag, they will add them on an opportunity, and then either send the message and all that. So you have one main workflow to do different stuff with. The reason for that is, if you want to move people in opportunities and pipeline stages, you need to very much look up different things within Highlevel. You need to find the pipeline ID, you need to find the stage ID, you need to figure out the value, you need to figure out if it's open or closed. Where else, most times in the workflow, it can be done by one. So instead of saying add a tag now to a person that says he is now an open lead, then putting them on in the pipeline, so you need to find the pipeline of your sales process, so find that ID, then need to find the pipeline stage and put it in there, and then move them in there, add a value, say where they've come from. There's a lot of talking and wasted energy in there, and things can go wrong. So therefore, it's easier to build out workflows. Now, this is very different than adding a workflow in here. Yes, you can, with the custom actions in here, trigger workflows. All right, so yes, we can add and trigger workflows. This is more for if you have a specific incoming person that needs to trigger a specific workflow. That's when you would do this. However, these workflows here is a bit more specific in creating an assistant within Highlevel, where we actually want your assistant, voice AI assistant, to do specific things with the contact by adding the contact into specific workflows. So it works very similar, where we find all the workflows. Step one, we're going to list up all the workflows. This in here is going to go through your location. We're going to find all your workflows, and then we are going to go through, put your contact ID in here, your location token in here. It's going to find all the workflows. Then you're going to be able to say add the person into the workflow, and adds into a workflow. And then lastly, the same thing in here, we've add the contact note. I've showed you how that works. It's very simple, and all you have to come and do again is we're just replacing your notes. So I've made a lot of notes in here for you to understand this. And then I've also added a couple of extra tools. So for example, if you want to update a travel log, search the internet is the one we went over earlier on, and we have Airtable. I have Google Tasks, for example. If you want to send emails out from a private email address, so let's say this is your business emails, but now you actually found someone that you want to send a private email to, you can do that in here. Likewise, you can have a private contacts in here. And this is where this makes other connections so super valuable. So I'll give it all to you, able to download it, edit it as much as you can, and I really hope this makes as much sense as possible for you. Hopefully I deleted all my API keys from it, but that is how you create your MCP server. So big brief, go look at all the other ones that you want, and next part we're going to get into quickly creating a voice AI widget in the form of a orb, and then we're going to take that orb and we are going to create a vibe coded extension. So I'm going to obviously give it to you again. I've said it over and over, you're going to get everything. All you need to do is download it, but I'm going to show you this one, and we're just going to create our own one really quickly as a test through on there. So just so you can see what I did through it, I'm not going to go through the entire programming phase of it, but you'll see how it works. Really cool, really awesome. So deep brief, well done, you've gotten this far. And if this is all you wanted at the start and just want a website, all good. Make sure you like and drop some comments on it. But the next part, we're going to vibe code ourselves an extension. I'm going to show you how to get the orb part as well. All right, so just before we get too far, I quickly want to also give you the prompt that you can go with it. And this is very much set up to use the N8N function you just saw. And it's very specific, calling the agent and behaviors for it. All right, so it talks about the contact ID and high level and search for contacts, add for contacts, and this just keeps our N8N server and our large language module on par on what to do here. Always finding the contact ID, then do these things, and also to use any other tools that you say in here. So very important little prompt that I have in here for you to use as well. All right, so next part is the voice orb. Now, I did not create the voice orb. I got this from Pat in here in the high level community. There are other people doing voice orbs as well. And you have multiple options for this, but I'll give you the complete funnel. You can import it, and all you have in here, once you toggle this key in here, you'll see you'll have these 3 codes in here. And these are the codes that you can put into your website if you want to have a website widget orb on there rather than the chat widget on the side. So it's a matter of creating these codes, coming in, opening the code, copy and pasting it, or building your website out from in here. There are different options for the code as well. I think I have this one in here that will show you the different color schemes for it, which is pretty cool as well. Or obviously you can just have the normal chat widget in here, which I think is just this one in here, and hopefully we can just blow it up. So nothing in here but the chat widgets enabled on the side, and it just pops up in here. So lots of different ways of adding your voice AI assistant to websites. Okay, so, and again, if you're just going to build this out as a phone agent and worry about this, if you're just going to have it in on a client's website sitting like this, it's going to be okay. What I want to show you is the extension that we are going to build, and we're going to vibe code it. So Google and extensions, or Chrome and extensions, are really easy where we can build them out with vibe coding. Super cool. And I'm going to show you how we're going to go through all of it, but and I'll give you this one in here. What you need to understand is obviously you need to pin it somewhere so you can use it, but you get all sorts of different extensions. You get extensions that do just on-page pop-ups like this, or you got instant data scraper, for example, in here. That is a bit of a loose pop-up within this one in here. Go Highlevel does not like that part in here. That's all right. And then we have other pinned extensions on the side. For example, in here, I have this one. And if you use the chat one, yeah, so there's different extensions that does different things, and you can actually have a chat function in here where you can chat backwards and forwards and it will send it through. However, pinned extensions does not work with a microphone. So there's no permissions within Google Chrome that allows you to have a pop-up pinned extension like this, which is really what I wanted, and an assistant on the side in here that you can voice chat to backwards and forwards, and it's a big microphone permission. Don't know why that is quite yet. I've struggled for a while, but that's what it's come down to, is microphone permission. So what you're actually building out is an extension that one click out brings up a voice AI orb, and you bring it out in a separate website. So depending which one you want to use, I need the website in here, and I'll come back in here and we'll go through. Now this is only going to be to create that personal assistant like I have in here. Either you're going to need this website URL in here to use for us, or we are going to need this one in here, which is going to be our plain blank. Now I'm going to give you this whole funnel to download. You'll get the link to download it, which will give you the voice AI orbs. All you need to make sure is go to settings, make sure you have your chat widget in here. I've selected the one from our N8N server in here, the one that we're going to test in here. It's running, so all I'm going to do through in here, and we're going to use the orb for this one because I like it. If you have different orbs or you have different widgets things in here, this is what you're going to use. So very easy bit of vibe coding, an introduction to vibe coding. It's about to come in here, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select that. I'm going to say orb URL. Okay, hit the copy in there and have that one in there. Now for the next part, we're gonna look into a little bit of vibe coding. We're gonna code our own extension. No coding extension. It's gonna be super easy. Don't get stressed out. This will be a great introduction to vibe coding. We're gonna build one out simultaneously with Codex, and we're going to build one out with Claude as well. I'm going to go through installing those two, and you'll be able to put it together and create one of these. If you don't want, use the skip button to skip past, and I'll just show you where to go download this one as well at the end. So let's get into some cool vibe coding. Super easy. Don't get scared of it. Sit down, listen to this part as well. Okay, so let's get this vibe coding going. We're going to use both Claude and we're going to use Codex, so you can see they work side by side just as a reference as well. But first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create a shared folder somewhere. So let's come in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my C drive, in here. I'm going to go to projects. I have a projects folder. And I'm going to create a new folder called orb123, and within orb123 we are going to create a new folder as well, and in this folder we are going to have Claude, and we are going to have an extra folder called Codex. Nice, I have that and that in there. Push this over to the side. Now I'm going to Google Claude code, and it's in here, and I'm going to Google Codex install. Now on here I have on my computer I have Windows. So to run these on Windows, you need a program called WSL, which is a system that runs Linux on top of your Windows computer. I'm not going to delve too much into it, but all it does is it creates a terminal within Linux for us. Now if I'll be able to squish these through and make these half and half in here, and I'm going to open another one. I have this in here, and I can add this half and half in here. So it's going to be an awesome fun part into vibe coding in here. So scroll this down, have this in here, have this in here, and what I can do is I'll move my face up in the middle here. Scroll these down a little bit, like this, like this. Now super easy where we can actually just the bit of Linux commands. So follow along, write it down, skip past, just download it. But please do learn something. All right, so we're going to go to cd mount. We're going to go to cd mount, that's C drive. We're going to go to projects. No, we're just projects and normal, and we're going to go to orb123, and I have that in there. I'm going to copy this. That's too bad. Copy this, paste that in there. Then we need to do Alex. It works for Alex. Dir for dir works in, but what we want is in this one we want to go into Codex, and in this one we want to go into Claude. All right, so we got two blank directories in here. Now, what you're going to need is Node.js to install a lot of these, and it will walk you through the dependencies. You just got to run the following couple of commands, and it gives you that in here. If you want to install codecs, it's going to be this. If you want to install Claude, this is going to be the command for it in here. And it's just a matter of copying, pasting it over. I already have it installed. So I have these in here, so I can just easily put them in. Okay, so in here, this is going to be the one, this one in here. I can paste that in there, and it should just reinstall it for us if we need to. Now, both of these you get free usage with your Pro plans of whichever version you have. So this went very fast because obviously installed. So if I have Claude and Tropics, I have the Pro plan. You can use it in here. Codecs, I have the same plan in here. So to launch it, we're just going to say Claude. And to launch this in here, we're just going to hit Codecs. Codecs. And we're going to say yes in here. Allow codecs to work in this folder, asking for approval. And say yes in here. And they kind of look very similar. Nice. Now, next thing we're going to need to do is look up for a high-level PNG icon. So I'm just going to go in Google and say high-level icon PNG images. I want that one in there. Where's that one? This one in here. Copy image. Now this should work. Else we have to actually download it. Let's say paste. No, we'll actually just download this. Save image as. And I'm just going to go under downloads just to make it easy. Come to downloads. Copy that. Have this in here. And I'm going to say have that one in here. Just want to rename this as icon. Icon. The same in this one. So I'm doubling up to show you the difference, what it would look like differently. Icon. Okay. Nice. And here, and we have that open. And we're going to come back to our two prompts in here and here. And for this, because I want to give all this to you, this is going to be orb URL, and this is going to be our prompt. So I'm going to say, does this work? I want you to build a Google Chrome extension. Now the extension needs to be in the folder /extension. So we can actually just copy the entire folder into our Google Chrome to run it. We will install the extension ourselves. All I need you to do is create the extension. I have also added an icon.png file in here, and this is the file you can use for icons inside of the extension. Now, all I want this extension to do is to pop up another website. I'll give you this website. The website is going to need to be in smaller size. So it's going to be maybe a 300 by 300 size. So that's going to be our first function. Our next function is going to also be that once you click the extension, you can go into settings and change the website. So the extension is going to look like this. The flow is going to look like this. I'll be installing the extension. The extension will go into the taskbar. Once I click the extension, it will automatically open this website in a size 300 by 300. However, in the extension, if I right click on it and say options, I can edit some of the options. And some of the options that we can edit is the website URL and then the sizing of the pop-up that it needs to pop out in, and whereabouts on the page it also needs to pop up. So very important step for this. Also use the icon file that's in here. Now go ahead, create the entire extension, create it in /extensions so we can use it, and this is the website we can hard code in there for now. So, I hope that made sense. Pretty much the same to it. We are going to hard code an extension. I wanted to also change the extension, and what this will ultimately need to do for us is if I come in here, not this one. So if we come in here and we right click on this, manage extensions, right click on this and I say options, I have a chance to change all these. Now you'll be able to change this out yourself, the one I'm going to give you, your URL, put this in, change it out as much as you want, right? So let's go to our AI agents and let it code it all out for us. And what I want to see is a folder in here that says /extension. So it's going to come in here. Let's just tidy this a little bit up. /extension. And this should be good for us to go. So I'm going to come in here, have that one. Come in here, have that one. And I'm going to say paste that in there. And I'm going to say paste that in there. Hit the enter, and we'll let it work, and we'll see which ones it's going to pop up at the end of it. So I'm going to hit the pause button. If you've come this far, this is literally just vibe coding, and all we're going to be able to do is copy those over. So you're going to see it's going to go, oh, I can't create this. And it's going to ask you, can I create this folder? Yes, sir, you can. So it does things very different. Both of them work very well. The first time you log on to these, it's going to ask you to also log on to your Claude, or it's going to ask you to log into your OpenAI, which is just the Codex one. Either or, we're going to write it out and see the difference that it's going to make. I'm going to go yes, install. And what I should have done is actually give this a better name. We'll go through this very soon. Give your extension a name. So in here, for this example in here, I have this called Go Highlevel Assistant. So I'm not going to sure what this is going to be called, but let it work. We'll pause it and we will be back. All right. So pretty scary. These two finish at exactly the same time. And when you look into here, there's the extension folder. Codex, got the extension folder. Now, will it work? So, let's come back in here. And come through in here. We're going to click the extension button in here. And we're going to say manage extensions. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to come through in here. Oops. So it just depends what this is called now. Extensions. Copy this one over here. And Go Highlevel, there we go. Pop-up launcher. Alright, not the best one there is, but let's see if that works. Click in here. We've got the normal one in here. Pop-up launcher is down here. And oh, that loads. Okay, does it work?
Hey Altus, what can I do for you?
Hello, how are you?
Hi there, how can I help you today?
Yeah, I just quickly need to update the odometer. I did a 20K trip, and all I did was pick the kids up and drop them off at friends.
Got it. 20 kilometers for picking up and dropping off the kids at their friend's place. Let me log that for you real quick. One moment. All set. Your 20-kilometer trip for picking up and dropping off the kids has been logged. Anything else you need?
All right, that's insane, right? So, I'm sorry, the fact that it works straight out the box. Can we edit these options? This is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. You can come through in here, the non-orb one, have that pop up in here. So this one will be a little bit different. This is silly. This is The sizing will be a little bit different because obviously we're adding a longer one, but let's just save this. Save. Yeah, I'm just absolutely popped. And here we go. It's popped up like this in there, and yeah, so you just need to resize this a little bit. So, I think a good size was 500 by 700. You need to just figure out the sizing in here if that's what you need to do. Oops, now I've broken the whole thing. Hello.
Hey Altus, what can I do for you?
Hello, no, all good. Thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Alright, so this one you probably just need to resize a little bit, right? So you just change the sizing and that. So, right, easy, well working. If you want to pin it, you can pin it. If you want to delete it, we can delete it. Let's remove it. Remove the pop-up. Now, let's go see if the Claude, if the codex one worked. The codex in here. If it didn't work, I'm not going to go too much round with it. But configure side pop-up. So I should have just told it to say something different. So let's go in here, and it's going to be side pop-up. Right. So this one did not go. Now this is what I mean. The extension may read things. Maybe we just need to change the config in here. Configure pop-up, configure pop-up. Alright, that doesn't work. Options. Alright, we got the website in here, so looks a bit different, but I'm not sure where it goes. It's not like it's not popping up. Oh no. My bad. No, that's the wrong one. I lie. Alright, this is definitely not popping up anywhere. Alright, so obviously this one doesn't work. Codex, you need to go backwards and forwards and edit it. But never mind, I will give you this one in here that works. Change it. You can come to the settings in here for this one. Options, manage extensions, options in here, I think it is. And you change the sizing where it pops up. So, yeah, really good part into this one. So, where do you get all these awesome things? Now, I hope you've learned something so far. I hope this is super valuable. You would have gone through quite a lot. You would have learned how to start how Highlevel works, how to create a high-level AI agent, how to, and let's go back in here. Let's go very far back. Quickly, as a bit of a summary. Please don't hang up right now. So what we have is in here from page 1, we want to create AI agents that has a lot of tools because those things are super valuable. So I'll change my face around in here so you remember this. So you went through Highlevel, how to set up Go Highlevel, how to set up your first AI agent, what an MCP server is. We looked at N8N, showed you how to self-host N8N, a quick tutorial on how to start it up. Then you created your own MCP server, super technical, super valuable in it, and then we connected all these things together, and we even did some vibe coding. So really cool, really awesome parts in all of this. So super grateful for it. You can now connect anything with this. There's MCP server configurations with all of it, and the reason we're doing it because simple prompting only agents is just the basics. They low value, they don't do much. However, you can add a knowledge base to it, but we need some functionality as well. And when we add the infrastructure that Go Highlevel goes and gives to us, we're able to create these awesome voice AI LLMs that are super powerful, super amazing, super great. And I showed you how to do all of it, how to connect to it, and you'll have the blueprint. You'll have all the connections to it. So Go out, I'll show you where the link will be down the bottom to download all of these, whether you watch this on YouTube, whether you watch this on the school communities, whether you watch this on Facebook or LinkedIn, or the GitHub repo that I'm going to build. You'll get everything. All you need to do is just sit down, relax, watch through all of this, and hopefully enjoy this really, really super awesome training. And if you've come this far, I'd just like to congratulate you. Well done. You're definitely doing something great for yourself.